to go out and sign Rondo in the free agency, but they didn't. And they went got him and made it and went picked him up before the trade deadline was a huge pickup. Because the reason that the Clippers struggle at times, don't have their legs in the fourth quarter because they're asked to do something that they're not used to doing, and that's being playmakers, bringing the ball up the floor, getting guys in sets. That's not what they do. They get buckets, and on the defensive end, they lock you up. Now adding Rajon Rondo takes pressure off of everyone. Kawhi, PG, Ty Lue, everyone. He is the ultimate leader. You need that guy in that locker room. Just remember, right? We all thought last year, and I'm not taking anything from Kyle Kuzma, with the Lakers. We thought that it was Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Kyle Kuzma as a mini big three. Where it turned out to be Anthony Davis, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Rajon Rondo when it mattered the most. Rajon Rondo is the one that stepped up in the finals and delivered in great fashion. So we all know what he's capable of doing. He's one of the best floor generals that this game has saw, and the Clippers definitely upgraded by acquiring him yesterday before the trade deadline. So the Clippers right now rank #1 in the Western Conference.
I agree with everything you just said about Rondo. He is not just by reputation, but in fact an all-star when it matters most in the playoffs. And that gives him 3 all-stars when it matters most. It'll probably also help Paul George, who needs the help under pressure, and not make Kawhi into something he's really not, point forward. That's not really him. They also still have Batum and Patrick Beverley and Reggie Jackson and Marcus Morris and Serge Ibaka. They got a crew, but what they don't have, Perk, they don't have Lou Williams anymore. And in the offseason, if they could have just signed Rondo, they have him and Lou Williams. That's one thing. But the addition of Rondo, don't you have to subtract Lou Williams now, who can go get you a bucket when you need it most?
No, because Lou Will wasn't playing well. He was playing up and down this season, and you could tell in the energy that kind of, in my opinion, from watching the Clippers, that Lou Will and the Clippers have ran this course. Like, you could plug Reggie Jackson into that role, and he could be a guy that come off the bench and give you 15 a night. I was with Reggie. I watched him stepped up when we was in Oklahoma City as a young gun. He stepped up and came in off the bench when everybody was wondering, when we traded James Harden, who was going to be that third option. I watched Reggie Jackson do that. So you put Reggie Jackson in the role, he's capable of coming in and giving you that 15 points a night. By the way, Max, listen. Ty Lue is bringing Marcus Morris off the bench. You know why? He's kind of putting him in the 6-man role. So we have to remember, he's coming in and being aggressive. Nicholas Batum is the guy that's in the starting lineup. So they have enough depth, in my opinion, coming in off the bench to make up for the for the missing of Lou Will now that he's gone.
Well, first of all, I don't have a problem with Lou Williams being gone in this respect. I know the brother can play. But let's understand a couple of things. Number one, he hasn't been the same since Doc Rivers departed. Playing for Ty Lue is a little bit different for him than playing for Doc Rivers. We know that. I think the acquisition of Luke Kennard hurt him. Now, Luke Kennard's only giving you about 19 minutes a game, okay? Only averaging about 7 points a game. But when you look at what they were looking for from him, if you're Lou Williams, you're saying, what the hell did you need him for while I was here? Especially when Lou Williams is in the last year of a contract that's paying him $8 million, and this brother, Luke Kennard, starts getting paid a minimum of $13 million starting next year. He got a 4-year, $50+ million deal on the books. Lou Williams is making $8 million a year. And so when you take that into consideration and you look at the fact that last year, coming into the postseason, what the expectations were. Not only was their bubble play compromised because of COVID-19, but then you got yourself into a tizzy because you had to go back to Atlanta for a funeral and found your way at Magic City ordering lemon pepper wings. And so that became the headline, which was very, very embarrassing, okay? So then you come back and you play.
Where the lemon pepper wings are now.
Listen, I ain't hating on them. I like lemon pepper wings. I like them. And damn it, I'll confess, I've been to Magic City before, damn it. Long time ago, but I've been there. I understand. Here's the deal, though. In the end, him going there at that particular moment in time reeked of irresponsibility. He got a lot of criticism for it. When you watched him play, he hasn't really been the same since. Then you take into account what happened in the bubble when they had a 3-1 lead and they blew it to Denver. So all of these things have compromised his cachet and the possibility of him getting the kind of new deal we all know he richly deserves. And then you bring in Luke Kennard on top of all of that.
Yep.
So I think that with Lou Williams, there's been an absence of inspiration. I don't think his skills, KP, have diminished that drastically. I just think there are some people that just need a new environment, a new place to go.
Well, and
I think he needed that, and that's why he's Atlanta.
The Reggie Jackson point is good. I think also Batum's career resurgence. He's had a renaissance in his career.
I'm going to warn you, if you're going to bring up Nicholas Batum, never, ever, ever
Celtics made their significant move to
Jordan or anybody in Charlotte.
Because
right.
I'm telling you that right now. He took the money and that was it.
Now, listen, Jordan doesn't speak about this. He wouldn't even talk to me about it, but I'm here to tell you something right now. It ain't no accident that you used to see Jordan on the bench, and then once Nicholas Batum arrived and stole all his money, you didn't see Jordan on the bench because he was scared he'd do something to him, because he felt like he got robbed.
He robbed him.
That Nicholas Batum, so it's kind of hard.
But that's not that Nicholas Batum anymore.
Not now.
This is more like the Nicholas Batum who got them before he got the money.
We'll see come playoff time, but my God, you talk about highway robbery. That man, he didn't just rob the Hornets, he robbed the city of Charlotte.
He retired.
He should have been arrested.
He's actually coming out of retirement right now.
Robbed him of money.
But that's signed the deal and retired from basketball for a couple years.
That's what I'm saying. You can't even bring him up around Michael Jordan. Can't even bring him up.
But he's back now. And you look at like the rotation. To your point about not needing Lou Williams as much, if you have Rondo and PG-13 and Kawhi and Ibaka and Morris and Batum and Beverly and Reggie Jackson, you got enough.
Go ahead, KP.
And Big Zubac. But here's the thing:
right,
if they could have kept Lou Will, they probably would have. But once again, in order to make the trade work, the salaries got to match up, right? Rajan Rondo making around $8 or $9 million a year. So the Clippers had to do what's best to get them over the hump. And again, I'm not saying that this is a fact. This is my own opinion. But Kawhi Leonard has a player option at the end of this year. We don't know what he's going to do. So at the end of the day, the Clippers got to make sure that they put themselves in the best position possible to win a championship around Kawhi, so they can make sure that he's signed back, whether it's next season or whatever, and for the long haul. So the Clippers got to make sure they do everything to try to win the championship this year, or at least make it to the finals.
Well, they have a very well-constructed team now.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. And just as an aside, fellas, Nicholas Batum, remember in 2016, I had to look this up, signed with Charlotte, 5 years, $120 million, and proceeded to average 15, 11, 9, and 3.
Oh, you're going year by year points. I'm like 15, 11, and 9. That's awesome.
No, 15, 11, 9, and 3.
Year by year. Yes, how much money he makes per basket, right?
We call Charlotte the Bible Belt, okay? Because you got a lot of folks out there that got God in their life or whatever, and they pray that Nicholas Batum never come back. That's what it is.
But on this team, he's a great fit.
8 points. He's shooting 43% from three-point range, only averaging 8 points a game. The bottom line is you do see a resurgence from Nicholas Batum, give him props where it's due. And he did have some injuries in Charlotte.
And he's never been a stat guy.
He's had some injuries in Charlotte, with all due respect. But here's the bottom line. He committed a criminal act in Charlotte. He stole.
He's never been a 20-point guy, though.
I'm just saying. He
not
stole,
a 3-point guy either.
He stole. In Charlotte, he stole.
In potential success this year for the purple and gold. Max Kellerman, you're a bandwagon Lakers fan, so I know this, rings true to your heart here.
I was the voice of Los Angeles. You're
still the voice of LA. Let's be honest. And you're not the voice of New York.
That ain't true. Don't lie to that, man.
Ask around. You better ask somebody.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I don't need
get familiar, Stephen A. Oh, my God.
All right.
Okay. Can everyone just settle down for a moment? Max,
we don't settle, Molly.
When they come back, Max, who's under more pressure? Is it LeBron or AD? Finally, I got the question out.
It's LeBron. The answer is always LeBron. History, AD is a great player. He's going to go down as an all-time great now that he has the championship, and he's already put up the numbers, right? The question was, will AD ever wind up with enough championships that he could push Tim Duncan for the number one spot all-time at power forward? LeBron is always under the most pressure. Basically, if the question is basketball in this era, the answer is LeBron, the way once upon a time it was, Jordan is the answer to any basketball question. Of course, that's what we're all going to remember. That's what this is about. LeBron James, since before he even turned pro, the eyes of the basketball world were on him, and the eyes of history are on him. And how many championships will he wind up with? Where's he going to rank among the all-time great Lakers? Can he take a team, provided he and AD are both healthy, right? If they're both back, can he take a team to a championship, to win a championship? Or did he fail to do so, especially if they couldn't get out of the Western Conference? No one's going to care about the details. LeBron had AD with him. If those two are both on the floor, LeBron will be under more pressure than anyone to get to the finals.
Max Kellerman, I got a strange answer for you to this question. The more pressure is on Anthony Davis, not LeBron James.
What'd you know about, Stephen?
If LeBron James doesn't face the Clippers. If he faces the Clippers and it's him against Kawhi.
I see what you're saying.
Then it's different. Then we looking at LeBron. It's like, let me